In today's episode, I go over guitar number one of my guitar series. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Luis Torres, and today I'm actually featuring my first episode of my guitar series, where at least once a week I'll go ahead and grab a guitar and just kind of yap about it. So today's guitar is my 1992 Jackson Dinky Reverse Professional. So this is a Japanese model. And some of the things that I always look for in these Jackson Japanese models is one is the bridge. So if there's one thing that you always want to look for is that the Floyd Rose Jackson bridge almost has a stamp of the Jackson. And more importantly, that there is, you see how it's kind of rounded out right there and then Jackson inside it? That's what I always look for. This one actually has the side or the off-center dots and reverse headstock, maple neck with rosewood fretboard. This one actually has a Seymour Duncan Invader on the bridge, and I forgot which Jackson this is. It's not the J85 because that's the typically the rail that they have. Maybe it's a J82. I could be wrong. But these were made in the early 90s till maybe about 94, 91 to maybe 94. Then they changed a few things, even though they were still made in Japan. All of a sudden, like the bridge was a cheapo version of the Jackson bridge. This one actually has mother of pearl inlays. Then they switched it over to like these pearloid dots and inlays, the shark inlays. So it was definitely a little interesting. So again, for me, and this is again what I look for with Jackson, just because, you know, the US models are great, but the next best thing are the Japanese models that were made in the early 90s. This you always want to look for is the Jackson with the professional right here and Dinky Rev on this side. So that's again the reverse headstock, 6-string, and with a poplar body, and it's absolutely insane. It's light, and it just sounds absolutely brutal as far as the density goes, along with the pickups that you know, for the most part, as a metal guitarist, we end up throwing in there. So let me go ahead. I'm actually going to run this through my Randall Diavolo, which is the RD100H, coming out of my Mesa oversized 412 with V30s. As far as pedals go, it is the only ones that I have activated aside from my Fort and Zool noise gate is the Demon TS9 overdrive. That again, people sit back and they're just like, I don't think it's that good. It's only $25. It is absolutely brutal. And I'm also using the red channel on the Diavolo. Let me go ahead and set this guy up. So as far as mics go, I'm actually using two this time. It's actually the Sennheiser E906 along with the Shure SM57. And you guys get to hear what it sounds like now. And I'm back. So I feel that as far as Jacksons go, again, unless you have the 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 to buy a Jackson USA model, even used, they're about 2,000 to 2,500. This is literally going to be the next best Jackson that you can find. Before they kind of moved production, of course, eventually to Korea first, then it was Indonesia, then they moved it to China, and Jacksons from China, and I've actually owned a few, are absolutely terrible, as you can imagine. They just are. This is just as incredible as you're going to get without spending a few $1,000s on a Jackson. And again, listen, the ones that you want to get, read professional right here. If you want a reverse headstock, this is just me, I always get Dinky Reverse or Dinky Rev there. And more importantly, the lower horn, you actually want the Jackson that you get to have the recess cut right here, which you can see right there, but there is not one here. So get, again, the one that has the recessed carve out on the lower horn and not on the upper. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first Jacksons that I've ever played that I kind of was, when I realized that there was an issue, for the most part, started to have the cut up here also, the contour. And I realized that's when they actually first moved it to Korea, if I'm not mistaken. I don't own any anymore, but I remember thinking that also. And then, of course, the tuners, Reed Jackson on there also. All right, guys. So that's guitar number one of my Jackson collection. I think I own 6 or 7 at this point. But they're great guitars, and they're all the made in Japan models. So, all right, guys. Hey, listen, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, jerk. Stop messing around. I'll go there and kick you in the shins really hard with my flip-flops. Don't make me. Don't make me. Don't make me. All right, guys. Thank you again for watching. You guys are the best. And as usual, I will talk to you guys soon.